Yeah, I guess I started roping when I was in my 40s. Jay started before I did, and then I got tired of working the chute, so I got me a horse. And I've had horses, but I never roped before, so anyway, glad I did.
He went to Oklahoma one time for pick up a trailer for a buddy of his, and kind of on a trip, and he with a bulletin board or something, he found a horse, and this guy had him, and it was a heel horse of all things. I'd been started heading. I'll never forget my dad and his best friend Marty was with us, and I was, like I said, I was little, and Dad just went and looked at this horse, and I said, man, that's a heel horse. I don't want a heel horse. You know, I don't know how to heel, and anyway, Marty made me a deal that he'd buy me a bag of ropes, a rope bag, and fill it up full of ropes if I tried heeling. So I've probably rarely headed since that time, but that was probably one of the best horses ever. I mean, it's just an old wore-out rope horse for guys out here, but it was exactly what we needed.
Bought that horse and never even saw anybody riding. Just took that guy's word for it. He was a good one.
Yeah, you could tell he was probably 15 when we got him, and I mean, he was awesome. It was, if without that horse, I would have probably never been able to stay going with it, I guess.
That's the first time we've ever come east of Mississippi.
Or west of Mississippi,
yep. I mean, yeah, we never.
Can you tell me your name?
And
What do you like to do with your dad and granddad?
I like to play with them.
What do you have on your feet?
Cowboy boots,
What kind of cowboy boots?
Durango.
What do you do with Durango boots?
I rope.
What do you rope?
I rope dummies.
Well, I mean, obviously the roping part was probably the easier part. The one thing that was hard for us was there was the lack of horses. So with that probably came the lack of horsemanship. We sort of made do. I mean, we had horses that they took solo cups and hooked it on their bridle like a blinder so he wouldn't duck off and stuff like that. So it was, I mean, we just had to make do with what you had, and we didn't have a lot of money to spend on horses, and you know, Dad had always traded some horses around and stuff like that, but well, you know, at the time we didn't know any much different. Nobody around us in West Virginia, nobody else roped. I mean, we could probably still tell you about everybody in the whole state, and I probably couldn't tell you everybody within a half a mile of here. So the hardest thing for us was, and especially Dad being older at the time, but I mean, we were literally roping a bucket or a stationary sawhorse, and there was no dummies, there was no anything, and a plastic head stuffed in a bale of hay, and we had no clue. If we caught it, we thought we were doing good. So there was no fundamentals. It was just see if you could get a loop around something. We did well for what we were in, the space we were in, and the competition we had around us, and even at high school rodeo, I mean, did pretty well and caught on pretty fast. Had some good help for what we had. I'll never forget the first time we went to Gillette, Wyoming, to the high school national finals, and I saw some guys rope. It was Chance Kelton, and I mean, it was like me going to the PGA Tour today. It's like, what am I doing here? Like, that's when I realized I was not nearly as good as we had thought we were. But
first roping horse we bought, I bought him off a guy. The guy had him, and he sent him to the killer, and I found out who bought him. So I got a hold of the guy who was in Pennsylvania, and I gave him $300 for that horse. He was ugly. We brought him home, and my wife said, put that horse in the backfield, don't let anybody see him. I mean, he was bad shape, he's probably 30 years old, and running off son of a gun. But anyway, I figured if Jay had enough guts to ride him, I'd get him a good horse. So he was tough.
yeah, we spent a lot of time in the truck. Once again, my biggest involvement in the beginning was the high school rodeos. West Virginia didn't have a team, so we had to join Ohio. So every one of our high school rodeos, probably minimum of 3.5 hours. And you know, back then speed limit was 55, and you know, trucks weren't as good, and there's no big fancy interstates and highways like there are here. So it was quite the chore, especially being 14 years old. It felt like it took a day to get everywhere.
Yeah.
But
We'd go to Indiana, Kentucky, Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania. It was
yeah, a lot of the states were so small, the membership was small, so they would do a 3-state high school rodeo or, you know, an invitational type deal and stuff. So yeah, our first one was in Rising Sun, Indiana, or Rising Star, Indiana,
Yeah.
and I mean, it was probably 8-9 hours over there the first time we ever went to a rodeo, my very first high school rodeo.
Do you ride your horse?
Yeah.
What's your horse's name?
Amen.
What else do you like to do with your horse?
I like to ride him and feed him, brush him.
Do you like to wear your Durango boots?
Yes.
Who do you look like when you wear your Durango boots?
Daddy.
I haven't been roping as much as I probably, you know, definitely as I used to. So we've just sort of made it his idea. What he does love to do is help me feed and take care of him. And I think more than anything, it's taught him probably more the responsibility side of things. And if he wants to do it, that's fine. We'll obviously help him. We found, I mean, anything, if Granddad's out in the garden, he wants to be with him, or if I'm, you know, working on something, he wants to do it, or cleaning stalls, he'll get his little wheelbarrow out. So it's nice to see him kind of follow in line of whatever. Like I said, it's uncharted territory for probably both of us, because I mean, other than riding ponies or, you know, horses, whatever, trail riding things back there, I mean, you know, I wasn't that little. He didn't do it when he was that little. So it's I don't know, he's behind compared to other kids probably these days, but you know, it's still the earliest that either one of us have ever even thought about it. So
yeah, you can't make kids do something they don't want to. Just if it's their idea and they want to, fine. If they don't, you know.